This video is brought to you by Brilliant. Today, tensions rise between Israel and Egypt, a mass conviction of Hong Kong democracy activists, and a jury prepares to decide on Donald Trump's fate. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Thursday the 30th of May, 2024. Yesterday, the Israeli military took control of a buffer zone along the border between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, the Philadelphia Corridor, which has sparked fresh concerns that tensions between Egypt and Israel could quickly deteriorate. For some context, after fighting wars with Israel in 1948, 1956, 1967 and 1973, Egypt became the first Arab country to sign a peace treaty and establish relations with Israel in a 1979 peace deal. Since then, relations between the two neighbours were described as a cold peace, marked by distrust and limited trade. However, under the current Egyptian president, Fattah al-Sisi, relations became warmer. Since the start of the war in Gaza, there's been concerns that relations could again spiral downwards. Whilst these concerns haven't materialised yet, Israel's operations in Rafah are raising eyebrows in Cairo. Yesterday, IDF military spokesman Daniel Hagari announced Israel had taken operational control of the Philadelphia Corridor. Whilst there hasn't been an official comment from Sisi yet, Egyptian officials have said that a potential Israeli takeover of the Philadelphia Corridor could violate the 1979 peace deal. Tensions have been especially high between the two in the past month. Both blamed each other after humanitarian aid deliveries into Rafah were halted, and Egypt expressed outrage at Israel after an Egyptian soldier was shot dead in an exchange of fire with the IDF near the Rafah crossing earlier this week. Egypt has also been at the centre of peace negotiations between Israel and Hamas. However, talks stalled as Israel moved into Rafah, a move which led to Egyptian officials threatening to withdraw Egypt's mediation role. Hagari also claimed yesterday that the IDF had discovered around 20 tunnels, which he claims to have been used by Hamas to smuggle arms from Egypt. Egypt, however, has long rejected these claims of smuggling tunnels, stating that these tunnels were destroyed long ago, and that a buffer zone and fortifications were created to prevent smuggling. So these fresh allegations have angered Egyptian officials, who accuse Israel of using these allegations of tunnels to justify continuing the operation and prolong the war for political purposes. Ultimately, regional stability could be threatened if the relationship between Egypt and Israel frays further. But while Egypt has warned that its peace treaty with Israel could be undermined by events in Gaza, and has said that it would join South Africa's case against Israel at the ICJ, it's not followed Jordan in withdrawing its ambassador to Israel or taken other formal steps. There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more daily briefing tomorrow. Plus, if you want to support the channel like Suzdemon, then consider joining the new TLDR membership programme for just $1.99. A Hong Kong court has convicted 14 pro-democracy activists and acquitted 2 in a subversion trial described as the city's biggest national security case. They were convicted for their involvement in organising an unofficial primary election in 2020 that was meant to shortlist the strongest pro-democracy candidates that would then run for Hong Kong's legislature. 47 democracy activists were arrested in dawn raids in 2021 relating to the primary, who were then prosecuted for allegedly attempting to paralyse Hong Kong's government and topple its leader by vetoing the budget, something that prosecutors described as a vicious plot. The human rights group Amnesty described the conviction of the 14 as a near-total purge of the political opposition, adding that the unprecedented mass conviction is the most ruthless illustration yet of how Hong Kong's national security law is weaponised to silence dissent. Those convicted, including former lawmakers, could face up to life imprisonment when they're later sentenced. Now for a look ahead to next week's European elections. From Thursday the 6th to Sunday the 9th of June, some 370 million voters across the EU's 27 member states will head to the polls to decide who gets to sit in the next European Parliament. This year, there's a total of 720 seats to be allocated, with thousands of candidates standing from dozens of political parties. To understand how the election works, there's a couple of things you need to know. Firstly, the number of seats each country gets in the EU Parliamentary Chamber corresponds to its size. So, Germany and France, being the two biggest EU countries, get 96 and 81 MEPs respectively, while Malta, Cyprus and Luxembourg get just 6 each. The second thing to note is that most seats belong to an international group, based on political ideology. There are currently 7 groups in the EU Parliament. From left to right, these are the Left, the Greens European Free Alliance, the Socialists and Democrats, Renew Europe, the European People's Party, the European Conservatives and Reformists, and Identity and Democracy. Current polling suggests that right-wing and far-right parties will make gains this time round, while left-wing and centre-left parties will lose seats. We'll have a TLDR EU video coming out next week on how this might happen, so make sure you subscribe to the channel for that. Today marks the second day of jury deliberations in Donald Trump's hush money trial, after jurors yesterday failed to reach a verdict on the first day. The 12 jurors will decide whether Trump is guilty of a crime, a first for a former US president. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to cover up a $130,000 payment made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet about a sexual encounter that she says they had a decade prior. Trump has had plenty to say, especially as the case has been taken out of the lawyer's hands and been left with the jury. He posted on Truth Social in all caps, "I don't even know what the charges are in this rigged case. There is no crime." He previously claimed that Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged, the whole thing is rigged. In closing arguments, his lawyer had focused on the key witness, Trump's ex-fixer Michael Cohen, and attacked his credibility. But the prosecutor used his closing argument, speaking for nearly 5 hours, to lay out the chronology of the case, and point out that it's Trump on trial, not Cohen. We don't know when the jury will come to a decision, but we'll report on it when it does eventually happen, so keep an eye out. And finally, in some uplifting news, the US has returned $80 million worth of stolen art to Italy. The 600 or so pieces, which mostly range from the 9th century BC to the 2nd century AD, and includes mosaics, paintings, coins, statues, pottery and more, had made their way over the years into US museums, galleries and private collections, having been illicitly excavated, looted and trafficked. Italy's Carabinieri Cultural Heritage Protection Unit has been using a new program called the Stolen Works of Art Detection System, or SWOADS, which searches for stolen items by scanning the internet for images. When making videos like this, we rely on tons of data analysis to interpret crucial economic data and understand political decisions. But this kind of analysis isn't just crucial for our jobs. As our world becomes more driven by AI and data, your job will likely require more analytical skills too. That's why we've been using Brilliant. Brilliant is the STEM learning platform which can teach you all the skills you'll need in an increasingly digital workplace. They've just introduced a whole collection of new programming and LLM courses, suitable for learners at any level, taking you through everything from learning Python to understanding the importance of training data. And Brilliant isn't just about memorization and lectures. Brilliant teaches you by doing, using active learning techniques to teach you the principles behind otherwise quite complex topics, and ensuring that you actually understand what's going on, with thousands of interactive lessons in maths, data analysis, programming, and AI. All of Brilliant's courses are split into easy-to-digest chunks, meaning you can quickly and easily gain real knowledge in just a few minutes a day, with fun lessons you can do whenever you have time, replacing mindless scrolling on the bus or waiting for coffee with something stimulating and rewarding. To gain access to Brilliant for free for a full 30 days, head to brilliant.org/TLDR. or click the link in the description. That way you'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription, and they'll know that you came from us, which really helps us out. Thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video, and thank you for your support.